going to show you how to mount the front end for the new 2019 1500 Chevy truck. First thing, pop the hood. This little hood latch on here, you need to go ahead and take it out. Unfortunately, to get to your upper bolt for your upper bracket, you got to take the grill out of this truck. So to do that, you need to take this little handle off. There's two of little star wrench screws there to get that off of there. So just go ahead and get the little hood latch handle off right away. And then in order to get this little thing out, you just use a little regular screwdriver and you can pop these little things up. There's 10 of them. They're just little pegs that hold it in. We've kind of played with it a little bit, so I ain't got them all in, make this a little faster. They're going to be like that. You just pop it up, the screwdriver, and then you can pop it up all the way out of there. And then that thing just removes very easily like that. So the grill's a little bit more of a trickier deal. On the very top, there's 4 little 10mm screws that you need to take loose. Right here, there's 4 of them there. And then what I do is I start with the bottom. It's just little clips that you just got to pop out. And I do each bottom like that on each side first. And you just pop that bottom out. And then I'll come to the center right here and pull a little bit too. I think I already got this one loose. Once you've got that, just do one side at a time. Lift this up a little bit right there, and then you can finish popping that loose. And I'll go to the other side. If you got somebody on the other side, it kind of helps. That way somebody, now I've already got this side loose, so you can see it comes off of there, okay? And the grill will pop straight out. And what you're trying to pop loose is these little guys right here, just popping these little inserts, and you're just pulling them straight out. Just go slow, it'll be all right. But if you got somebody else, it makes it a little bit easier. And the reason you have to take that grill out is because they put the bumper on ahead of time. There's some plastic right here that you got to get to. I think I used a screwdriver. I forgot that I did that. Get that plastic up. And right here is the bolt that you're trying to get to. Once you got the grill out on the truck, this is actually where the bolt goes that you were trying to get to have to take the grill out, unfortunately. But that bolt right there's got to come out, which is an 18mm, and then there's another 18mm right here that the bolt's got to come out on. The side braces right here, you got, these are 15mm. These two 15mm bolts need to come out, and you can loosen that one, and you can see it'll pivot down to take the bumper off. And the other two here, there's actually 2 10mm bolts that go right here. It just connects the plastic to the underneath on the truck, that little bracket which you'll see on there. And then that's the bolts that you got to loosen to take care of the bumper off of the truck. Once you've taken the bumper off the truck, you can lay it down on a cart like this, or whatever you want to do. This is kind of unbolted already that you can see. Okay, there's a bunch of series of bolts that you got to take loose in here to get this off. Don't take these two apart. You can see you can take that one more apart, that right there off, and it'll come apart. But it can stay together. That way it just stays with the bumper if you want to keep it with the bumper. But in order to get your sensors and all that out of there, you got to take this out. This truck does not have fog lights. This little piece of plastic is a filler if your truck does not have fog lights. So if you have fog lights, you got to take these 3 little bolts loose, and your fog light will come out in there, and you will put it back in your new front end exactly how it came out of your chrome bumper. And there's some 1/4x1 bolts in the bolt bag that's going to put that fog light in. So that's how you can take the fog light out of here and put it in your front end. But just take this out once you've got it unbolted, and you can see your sensors right here. We've kind of unplugged the harness. We've played with it a little bit already, as you can see. But unplug that right there. That little red clip pulls back. You push that little black thing down right there behind it, and it just pulls loose. Once you got that off of there, I take a regular screwdriver. Once that down there, you can pry there, and your sensor's coming straight out. Okay, it's got a little plastic piece on there too. Make sure that stays with there. The sensor housings are also going to be used in your front bumper replacement. I just take, again, the same screwdriver. You got some little clips right there that can be pushed in. You can almost do it with your finger on the other side, and that little housing goes straight through. And you're going to put that same housing in your front bumper replacement. Okay, so you're going to put that in there, and then your sensor is going to go back in there the same way as it came out of your chrome bumper. But you got to take all that apart to at least get to this one. You think you can get to your center ones without doing that, especially if you got like a grill guard with the sensor bar on there. That you can get up underneath there and get to your center ones, but you got to take all that loose to get to your outside one. You're going to do that and then go ahead and get your harness out of there and everything, and then we'll show you how to put it in the front bumper replacement. Putting your sensor harness in your new bumper replacement here, as we were saying, you took your factory housing out for your sensor. You come through the front, you're just going to push it through. Fat fingers in there to get it done. Then you're just going to take your sensor back in there, snapping it down in there, and then you're just going to plug your wire into it, and that's really all there is to putting your sensors in. We've already kind of put the rest of them in here. You can see we got a little angle iron right here that you can take some ties or string or wire, whatever you want to do, so you can tie it up and it's not flopping around. If you got fog lights, again, this one did not, like we said, but this is the little cup. This is how it goes in there. When you take it out of your bumper, you take it out of your bumper, you got your brackets goes on, just go straight back in there. And this little cover right here is the same as your lights, so that's just how it goes in with the little 1/4x1 bolts that's in the bolt bag. Your bottom brackets, you can see where the shoe right here, it's going to go on there with the 1/2x1 3/4 bolts. That little top bracket that you took the 15mm off, that you can put in after the front end's on if you want to, is going to go to right there. And we're going to get somebody to help us hang this thing. We'll show you how to line it and everything, but that's how everything goes in your front bumper. If you just put all this in ahead of time, you don't have to do it up underneath. Putting on the brackets, this is the driver's side bracket. You can see how the bracket's always going to angle to the outside. We've got the passenger side bracket on there already. When you, the ones with tow hooks, you got to remove the tow hook because you're going to reuse tow hook bolts. Actually, we've got a longer bolt in there. In the bolt kit, there's a 12mm bolt by 130, I believe, to replace the long one, because the long one's not quite long enough to be reused. The small one is. You reuse a small bolt. But take the tow hook out, and then you put that bracket up in there around the frame, and your tow hook's going to go back in there. So you do keep your tow hook. You can still use your tow hook. We just kind of got it like this so you can see. But the passenger side is on there. On one side, the passenger side, it's always on the left-hand side looking at the truck. It's going to have 2 bolts. You can see how we got 4 holes in this bracket. You're only going to use 3 of the holes. On the passenger side, you're going to use the left 2. Driver's side, you're going to use the left 2. And on the right side, you're only going to have 1 bolt, just so you see that you're not supposed to have all 4 bolts being used right there. There is a bolt on the bottom, a hole on the bottom though. When you put that up there, I would get it up on there and get these bolts just kind of snug, and then tighten that bottom one first. That way that bracket goes all the way up, and then you can finish tightening the side ones. I think it gets that bracket up there in the right position better if you do it in that sequence like that. So, but that's how you put that bottom bracket on there. You're going to have an upper bracket on here too. Take that center 15mm bolt out. You can see how we did it on the side. Put that on there. And I would loosely put that on there. I wouldn't put it on real tight, or you can even put it on afterwards if you want, because the front end's going to have to go up there. And sometimes it is easier if you don't have this thing in the way, but maybe you might want to get the bolt out ahead of time. That way you're not fighting up underneath that front end to get that bolt out of there. But it's a 15mm, easy to take off with air if you have air. Then you can put that bolt on, that bracket on there later. But you need the bottom one, because that's what you're going to mount the front end to first. And then we're going to get somebody to help us hang this thing, and we'll just show you how to align everything. We've got the front end up there. We actually already tightened it and all that. We'll explain how we did all the alignment and all that. I want to backtrack just a hair though. Before you put your front end on, make sure you put your grill back in. You can put it on after the front end's on, but it's just a lot easier to get everything redone before the front end's up there. So put all your grill and all the stuff back together that we told you to take apart to get the grill out also. Okay, once that's done, then you put the front end up there. We got a couple guys to help us hang it. We put jacks up underneath there to get it level. I always get straight back in front and line the rear view mirror up with the center there, and then I eyeball the loops here with the fender edge on there. That's how I do it, to make sure you get it right from side to, or up and down from side to side. And then you also take a tape measure and measure in the same spot. Make sure you do it in the same spot on each side, and then you can measure it and get it right from side to side. And tighten your bolts up like that. And once you've got all that aligned, just go back through and make sure all your bolts are tight one more time. But you see all the sensors are all that on there, and it's all good. So that's the install on your front end for your 2019 Chevy 1500.